Matt Medved here with Billboard Dance. We've got Alesso visiting today. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. You know, I know we're coming off of the AMAs, the American Music Awards, where you performed with Haley Steinfeld, Florida Georgia Line, Andrew Watt, your collaboration, Let Me Go. What was that like?
It was great. It was the first time we ever performed the song together. And it was the first time I met Florida Georgia Line, and everything went pretty smoothly, and we got a lot of help from creative director Nick DeMora, and he's been helping Justin Bieber on his whole Purpose tour. So he drew up the stage and told us where we were gonna stand and who's gonna sing where and dancing where. And I played the keys, and Andrew played the guitar. Haley singing like crazy, amazing, and the FGL too. So it went great, actually.
What was kind of going on in your head during the actual performance?
I was definitely nervous. First time I played keys in a long time, and also just being on that kind of award show. I'm used to being at festivals and clubs, so it was a different environment. Yeah.
How did your fan base react? Once the performance was done, you're able to go on and see all the tweets and everything.
To be honest, there was so much going on, so I didn't check anything really. But until the next day, my manager told me the response was great, and I think people enjoyed it. It was so much people on stage, but it made sense somehow, and we all felt really positive after we walked off. So I think pretty good reaction.
Very cool. And you've got another song, Is That For Me, with Anita. How did that one come together?
It was through my management. We have the same management, Shot Studios, and we were talking about how I've never actually even collaborated with a Brazilian artist before, and it's a new market for me as well. And we got Pooh Bear involved to write the song with us, and we just went from there. Yeah.
Now, Anita is such a huge star in Brazil, and I know that you guys performed the song together. It was at Ultra Brazil, right?
Yes.
What was that like, going down there with her and performing with her, and kind of experiencing that fan base as well?
I think people were very shocked and surprised in a good way, because, not only is the Ultra Music Festival one of the biggest dance music festivals, it's also you throw Brazil's biggest artist on top of that while I'm playing, and all the things going on. There was a crazy reaction. It was great. Yeah.
What is it like working with her and also with Pooh Bear in the studio?
She's so inspiring to watch, because she's her own boss in the coolest way. She's so focused. She knows exactly what she's doing. She have all these crazy ideas. We shot the music videos in the Amazon, and that was all her idea. I was surprised on how creative she is, and to have so many things going on at the same time. It's hard. And with Pooh Bear, he's one of the most talented persons I ever met. So inspiring too. So for me, it was just fun and, like I said, inspiring, and it's just a lot of impact. That was unbelievable. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that music video. I've spoken with Anita about it, but for those who are tuned in and maybe haven't seen it or aren't familiar, tell them a little bit about the concept and the shooting of it.
So we were discussing, where we're gonna shoot the video, what it was gonna be, and Anita said she always wanted to shoot a video in the Amazon and kind of show that beautiful part of Brazil. And when I heard it, I obviously got really scared, because I'm from the city. I've never been into a forest, I think. And I thought it was going to be alligators everywhere, which it kind of was, but and spiders and mosquitoes. But it turned out great. And I think it's great to show that part of the world what still exists, you know, and it really also, it's a big tribute to Brazil. It was a 2 days shoot, and if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's definitely the most coolest music video I've ever been a part of. Yeah.
Very cool. Now, you know, the Brazilian music scene is really interesting to look at it, and it feels like Latin music and electronic music and dance music are kind of intermingling more than they have in the past. What's sort of your sense for how, you know, Latin music and dance music are currently, you know, kind of overlapping?
It's just, you know, it's a global explosion of Latin music now. And it reminds me of like early, like late 90s, you know, when like this whole Enrique Iglesias and Ricky Martin is like coming back now, but in like 2.0, you know. And I think it's great. I think it's, you know, music to me, it's always like a circle, you know, it just circles around and then something comes back again. And now it's combined with, like you said, electronic music and the 4/4 and the dance hall vibes and a lot of
some of that reggaeton.
Exactly.
And all that, yeah.
But I enjoy it as much as everyone else is. I think it's great. I think the music we put out today is, it's diverse. It's. I think the goal also too is just try to do the unexpected, collaborate with unexpected artists. Like for me to collaborate Anita, I don't think anyone saw that coming, and I'll definitely, you know, explore more of that world. And as long as people are listening, you know, it makes me happy.
You know, it's been really cool to watch sort of the arc of your evolution in terms of your artistic growth. I remember when you kind of came on the dance scene with club and festival tracks. I remember Millionaire way back, and
oh,
you know,
cool.
yeah, you know, and it's been interesting to see you kind of, you know, change gears and try out new sounds and embrace sort of different formats. And I'd love to hear, you know, you speak a little bit about how your creative approach and sort of your production process has changed since we went from kind of doing club and festival geared tracks towards songs that could be played on the radio.
I'm just trying to not overthink it anymore, because I mean, it started off me doing these dance music records that was doing well, and obviously I love those songs. And like you said, Nilina is a really cool song that you mentioned. That was one of my favorite ones that I put up. And then everything from, you know, the version with One Republic, If I Lose Myself, and then Call and Lose My Mind, and all this like came like it was like a sound that just kind of I became known for. Like it was kind of part of my identity. And I love that, you know, and I'm still today when I play this song, the reaction is unbelievable. But then, you know, I'm the kind of person that don't want to just repeat myself. I know I can go back in the studio and do another song like that, but it wouldn't be so much fun for me anymore, because as much as I loved making those songs, you know, after a while you want to evolve. At least me, that's, you know, one of my biggest inspiration is Michael Jackson, and look how many times he changed his sound, you know, multiple times, everything from, you know, rock to R&B to ballads, and I think that's what kept me still listening to him. And I'm not saying I'm trying to be Michael Jackson, but I'm just trying to evolve and explore the world of music, really. And, you know, who knows, maybe soon I'll put out a song that reminds me of those old Alesso classics, whatever you want to call it. But today I'm just trying to focus on putting out songs that I really like, and maybe not have to be so specifically played at a club or a festival. Because I've noticed it, like before I was kind of stuck like, oh man, this song is great, but I have to kind of like pull it to the dance, very energetic direction. That's how I felt before, but now I feel like, no, it doesn't have to. Maybe people will, I think my fans or whoever's listening will enjoy it as if it's not like that, if it's just turns out to be the way it should be, you know. And I still, you know, when I play my shows, I still remix the songs and make new versions to kind of make it more fun. When you're a part of a dance music night. I mean, to be honest, to me, I consider them still dance music, right? Like, Is That For Me and Let Me Go, because it's a lot of dance elements in it. Maybe it's not as upbeat as my old records, but it's still dance music to me. And dance music became popular, and popular music is popular music, so yeah.
I totally agree with that. And, you know, I know that you have a lot of material in the works. You have a lot of releases planned for the next year. What can you tell us about those right now?
I'm actually going to release my first urban song soon. But it's like a dance/urban song, because it won't sound like a Post Malone Rockstar song, you know. It's still be very influenced by the sounds that I've been working on, but not 4/4. So that's why I like to say it urban. It sounds a little bit more fun too. And also I'm working a lot with Pooh Bear, and he's really inspiring me, you know, to really work on the lyrics of the songs, and he's really he makes it look so easy, but it's really amazing to work with him, and how he just shows like how you connect with people's emotions through lyrics.
You know, it's funny. I always remember from Coachella this past year, going to an after party and hearing all this really great hip hop being played, and then looking up and I think you were playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you know, so I would love to hear, you know, about, you know, do you listen to a lot of hip hop? You know, is that
I listen to all kinds of music. To me, like when I listen to hip hop, I'm not the kind of person to be like, just play any hip hop record and I like it. I'm very selective of what I like, and when I like DJ or whatever, like, obviously know, like, if you pay a ticket to come to my shows, and people expect something from it. They expect, you know, to be my songs or that kind of vibe of it. So I always, you know, make sure that, but I also want to surprise people. But when, you know, it's like an after party or you know, this other kind of setup where it's just like you just jump on, you know, if I'm a DJ, if I'm a good DJ, I know how to entertain no matter what. I know what to play, what songs for what type of crowd. And I think that's what I did that night. And mixing hip-hop records and dance records is like the hardest thing, because they're so far from, you know, beats per minute, you know. But it also makes it more fun, more challenging. So I think that's what I'm doing, and now I feel like I know how to do it. And I also just trying to have fun. Yeah.
Well, no, that was the vibe that night, and you know, it's also, you know, really interesting to see, just like how we mentioned with Latin music. You know, the hip hop scene is obviously so hot right now. It's so culturally relevant.
It's
in
the
America.
number one genre right
exactly.
now. Right? Yeah.
And there's also a lot of crossover with dance music and with electronic producers. What's your sense for kind of how those scenes are working together?
Well, I think, like I said, the future for music, I'm definitely not the first one to say it, but it's to merge all these music genres, to grab some hip-hop with dance, with, who knows, some reggae, and, you know, people have been doing it for years, but I think that's still the future for us. And that's what I'm going to keep doing, and keep trying to be as fearless as possible. And make people just enjoy themselves. And when they put these, what do you call those, earpods now?
Earpods, the ones without the
the
Bluetooth,
when they
right?
put those things in, and they're just going to school or work, that they feel, you know, powerful. I think that's the goal for me.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, we were actually just chatting about the Grammys. You know, the nominations dropped today. Did you have any thoughts you wanted to share on them, or any kind of first impressions?
I mean, I think, like, everyone else. I have a lot of opinions on what I think should be there and not. But it doesn't really matter. Whoever wins and get an award for their music, that's great, you know. That we get recognition for making music and people are happy, you know. If it's an award or not, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I think still it's great to, you know, people are cheering on other artists, and they get to go on stage and say thank you, and recognition, really, you know, because at the end of the day, like I was talking to my friend about it the other day, you know, like Let Me Go is doing well. Thank you, by the way, for supporting and listening to it. It's still just a number on a website or and on your website, you know, you see. So I guess when you get an award for something, you definitely, you know, you'll remember that, and it's more impactful, can you say, like, than just looking at a website. And then there's obviously people walking up to you saying, "I love your song," and I think that's awesome. Yeah.
And, you know, finally, kind of wrap things up. You know, since you are a producer and you're always listening, and you know, you spend a lot of time in the studio. What are some of the sounds and styles that are inspiring you right now from a production standpoint?
It's different every day, really. Everything from today's sound to like the 70s, 80s. What I'm really interested in now is other, I don't know how to say, musical scales, like how, like, you know, there's this way of Latin music is being played in, and how they play their guitars, and how Middle Eastern are playing their, you know, scale in music. So just trying to like listen to everything, and if I hear something, what's that? That sounds new. That's what I'm trying to go for.
All right. Thanks so much, Alesso. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.